Welcome to 116 West 29th Street. This property is listed by my friend Michael Benson, and I'm here to walk you through a home filled with a rich historic significance. One of Vancouver's finest homes at the time of its creation, located on a street once called the Millionaires' Row for all the social elites that lived here in the 1920s and 30s. Let's dive in. We turn back the clock almost exactly 100 years ago to October 9 of 1923 to an article by the Columbia that reads, "Since a New Home." Mr. and Mrs. Fredson moved into their new home at 116 West 29th Street on Tuesday and are now getting settled. The residence is one of the most modern dwellings in Vancouver. It is splendidly finished and is equipped with every modern convenience with the latest lighting and plumbing fixtures. By the way, the cost to build this home at that time, $4,500. This beautiful house is a Dutch colonial revival style home. The Dutch colonial style was popular in the 1800s and made a comeback in the early 1900s. The revival style means that the architect took the characteristics of the original Dutch home and reworked it to make it work with the current building materials and living style needs. The most distinguishable feature of a Dutch colonial style home is the gambrel roof with full-length shed dormers to maximize attic space, the shuttered window, sidewall chimney, and a porch under hanging eaves. But back to the sins. Soon after Mr. and Mrs. Fredson settled into their new home, Mrs. Fredson began to involve herself in the Vancouver social scene, and this house became the hosting site of many social gatherings and club meetings. From my research, Mrs. Fredson was part of the Afifi Club in the 1920s, helped found the Lavender Club in 1931, and she was an officer and matron in the Martha Washington Social Club. The Martha Washington Social Club was a widespread social group, and the Vancouver chapter helped plan many parties and dances throughout the year. This home became a hub for its members, and many luncheons were hosted here by Mrs. Fredson. Eventually, this home was sold sometime between 1967 and 1969 to Robert Conrad, the owner of Bob Conrad Woodworking Store. And today, this home is waiting for a loving new owner. Let's go take a look at what this home has to offer. Here we have a meticulously maintained front lawn with a dwarf Japanese maple that's very common to this area, and a long driveway that takes you up to a 2-car garage. This is an awesome feature. When you live in an older downtown area, houses are usually built tighter and without considerations for cars. So most of the time, you'll maybe get a 1-car parking garage or street parking, maybe a driveway, but rarely all 3. And as an added bonus, the garage actually has a door on both sides, so you could drive your car through your house, through the driveway or the alleyway in the back. Isn't that awesome? Before we go inside the house, I want to show you something really cool. When you tour an older neighborhood, you'll notice some horses tied on the curb, and they're connected to these little metal rings down here. This is called a horse tie. Back when horses were more common than cars, people used horses and horse-pulled wagon as a method of transportation, and this is where they would tie their horses. A lot of times when you go to an older neighborhood, they'll have these metal rings, and even though they redo the street and put new concrete in, they will put these metal rings back because these metal horse ties have such a strong historic significance in our city. All right, ready to go see the house? Let's go. Check out this porch in front of the entryway. It's got this awesome swinging bench, but what I really love about it are the metal fences that encloses your porch. So you can hang out here and say hi to neighbors, people watch, or my favorite, when it turns autumn and all the leaves on the trees turn orange and yellow, you're gonna want to be out here on this porch with a hot toddy and a blanket around you. Through the front door is the formal living room with hardwood floors, built-in shelves, and wood-burning fireplace. This furniture set isn't original to the home, but it fits in so well. I imagine this is the room where Mrs. Fredson held luncheons for the Martha Washington ladies. If you want, you can request that these furniture stay with the home. Connected to the living room is the formal dining room area. I love the detail on the trim and on the wall. And in here, you have even more built-in storage built into the walls. And in here, you get a second living room. This second living room gives you access to the backyard. And this house doesn't look like it from the street, but there's actually 3,063 square feet of living space in here. This is a 2-story house with a finished basement, 3-bed, 2.5 bath. There's a half bath on the first floor, a full bath downstairs and full bath upstairs, which I'll show you later. Let's move on to the kitchen. Next is the kitchen area. There is a ton of storage below these countertops, and you get a whole wall of more storage along these walls here. Right there is the door that will take you out into the deck, and down in that hallway is your half bath, plus the stairs to go into the basement or the upstairs living area. Let's take you upstairs first. There are 3 bedrooms and 1 bathroom up here. Because this is an older home, the bedrooms are not going to be as spacious, and closet space are not going to be as generous as newer homes. But I love that they all have multiple windows to let natural light in, and this bedroom even has extra storage space built in. Usually bathrooms in older homes are small, but not this one. This one has a separate shower, beautiful granite countertops, so much storage space, and a beautiful soaking tub. Let's head into the basement. The basement is completely finished with its own bathroom and has extra storage space. This would make the perfect guest room, gaming room, kids' playroom, or a hobby space. Let's go check out the backyard, which can be accessed from the second living room or through the door through the hallway. This deck is perfect for setting up little barbecues, entertaining your guests, or just relaxing outside in your own private backyard. And I haven't even talked to you about how awesome this neighborhood is. You are located just a quarter mile from upper downtown, where you get to enjoy great restaurants such as Blue Door Bakery, which are known for their sandwiches, La Bottega, your neighborhood Italian deli, and Wahihana, a local tiki bar with a cool ambiance. Or you can take yourself further downtown and enjoy the farmers market and a ton of events and festivals that are hosted at the Estes Short Park. This home is located in the highly sought-after Carter Park neighborhood. Back in the 20s, some of the best well-known families lived on this street, such as the Schofields, who owned downtown buildings, the Dubois, who owned a lumber business and now has a neighborhood named after him, and the Sims, who lived in this house. The Sims owned a market downtown, which they later converted into a wholesale meat store, the only one of its kind in Clark County at the time. Can you start to see why they called the street Millionaire's Row? Fast forward a few decades later to 1979, Carter Park is officially recognized as a neighborhood by the city of Vancouver. And they named this neighborhood after Carter Park on West 33rd Street and Columbia, which had a historic significance to the neighborhood at the time. And at the same time, the neighborhood was also called Doctors Row. They called it Doctors Row either because there was a lot of doctors who lived in this neighborhood, or because there was a cluster of medical clinics near the Vancouver Memorial Hospital. Maybe it's a bit of both. The point is, Vancouver is filled with a ton of history and interesting people, and this house is one of many. I hope you enjoyed this historic home tour. Let me know in the comments down below. If you like this video, like and subscribe to my channel because I will definitely be doing more of these. I'll see you next time.